Get this, listeners. You sent in some stuff about this secret Google hiring challenge.
Yeah, called Foobar.
Foobar, right. And it's like seriously wild.
Wild.
So imagine you're like deep in some coding research, right?
Right.
And this thing just like pops up on your screen.
Like out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, yeah. It's like, what? A secret portal to some coding dungeon.
It really is kind of like that. The element of surprise is part of the whole thing. It's kind of like preys on your curiosity, right?
Yes.
You're already in that technical mindset, and boom, suddenly it's like you're pulled into this other world.
This world of like Google design puzzles and stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
And the cool thing is, our main source on this is someone who actually went through it.
Oh, wow.
Sumonta Riddle, who wrote about his Foobar experience on Level Up Coding.
Oh, nice. A first-hand account.
Yeah, so we get to peek behind the curtain, you know.
For sure. See what it's all about.
Yeah, and Sumonta's story, it gives us this breakdown, right?
It does, yeah.
Yeah, the structure, the challenges.
So it's 5 levels.
5 levels.
Yeah, each one harder than the last. 9 problems total.
9 problems.
Yep.
And here's the kicker. You only get 1 submission for each.
Oh, wow. That's it.
1 shot.
No pressure, right.
Talk about pressure.
It really highlights how important competitive programming skills are.
Yeah, you got to be sharp.
Like, imagine the most intense coding competition you've ever seen.
Right.
Every line of code matters. Every millisecond. That's kind of the essence of competitive programming.
And you got to be comfy with Linux commands too.
Oh, right, right.
Because this whole challenge, it takes place in an Ubuntu environment.
Makes sense. So it's testing your practical skills too.
Mhm.
Not just can you code, but can you navigate a professional system.
Exactly. So what kind of puzzles are we talking about here? Well, level 1, it kind of eases you in. It's called skipping work.
Interesting name.
Yeah, so basically you're given like 2 lists and you got to find the one unique ID.
Ah,
That's in one list but not the other, like being a digital detective or something.
I see.
And it's interesting like how Foobar takes the simple idea, finding a unique element, and wraps it in the story.
Yeah, for sure. Makes it more engaging.
Way more engaging. And it shows you like creative thinking that's just as important as technical skill.
Especially at Google, right?
Especially at Google. Okay, so then things ramp up at level 2.
Okay, how so?
It's called ion flux relabeling, and now you got to find parent nodes.
Parent nodes.
Yeah, in a binary tree.
Binary trees.
Now you might be thinking, what's the big deal about binary trees?
Yeah, can see someone asking that.
They're like one of the foundational things in computer science.
That's right.
Think about how Google search just instantly like goes through billions of web pages.
Yeah, crazy fast.
Crazy fast, right. Binary trees, they're a part of that.
Oh, wow.
They make that speed possible. They're used in all sorts of algorithms, especially for searching and sorting massive amounts of data.
So when you're solving this challenge, you're actually working with concepts that are used in the real world, like at Google.
Exactly. And the fact that speed and efficiency matter so much in these challenges, that just makes it even more relevant to like actually working in tech.
Totally, where deadlines are everything.
And then there's level 3, numbers station coded messages.
Okay, what's that one about?
You have to find the sublist of numbers, right? That adds up to a specific target value. Sounds kind of simple, but trust me,
I bet.
it gets tricky fast.
Lots of combinations.
Tons. And again, this isn't just like some random brain teaser.
What if-
These sorts of problems pop up in finance, signal processing, even things like cryptography.
Oh, wow. So it's practical stuff.
Super practical. You're flexing your coding muscles, but you're also learning about problems that actually matter in the real world.
And it's kind of cool because these challenges, they mirror the kinds of problems that Google engineers might actually run into.
So how you do in Foobar could show like how well you'd fit in at Google. Now, our friend Sumonta, he didn't actually finish all 5 levels.
Too bad.
But hey, he made it to level 3.
That's still impressive.
Very impressive. Shows you that even getting that far is a big deal. So let's say you, dear listener, you suddenly see that Foobar invitation staring back at you. What should you do?
Be prepared.
Be prepared, exactly. Sumonta says, brush up on those competitive programming skills.
Makes sense.
Get comfy with Linux commands.
And don't forget, cultivate that mindset. That persistence, creative problem solving. Don't give up too easily, and don't be afraid to think differently, outside the box and all that.
Right. And also, manage your time.
Oh, yeah.
You get 7 days to solve each problem, but
7 days goes by fast.
it flies by. Now,
Yeah.
even if Foobar doesn't lead to, a job at Google,
Yeah.
the experience itself, that's got to be super valuable, right?
Absolutely. You push yourself, you learn new stuff, you get a peek behind the curtain of, one of the biggest tech companies.
Because let's be real, finishing Foobar, it doesn't guarantee you a job at Google.
Right.
It might get you an interview, or it might not. It's about more than just getting hired,
Totally. It's about the challenge, the learning. You grow as a coder.
Yeah.
And that's got to be worth something no matter what.
Which makes me wonder, what does just the fact that Foobar exists tell us about Google? About their culture, the kind of people they want?
That's a good question. It tells you they value people who take initiative. People who, crave challenges.
Yeah.
People who aren't afraid to dive into the unknown.
It's like they're saying, if you're curious enough, if you're driven enough to find us,
Yeah.
then maybe, just maybe, you're the kind of person we want.
Right, exactly. And the way Foobar's designed, it's like a game.
Right. Yeah, it's got that secret invitation. The levels get harder and harder.
It shows you they like that competitive spirit.
Yeah.
They don't just want any coder. They want someone who enjoys the puzzle, who wants to push boundaries, find creative solutions.
So if you ever stumble across this, digital escape room,
Yeah.
don't just think of it as a job application. It's a chance to step inside Google's mind, to see their culture, to see how deep this coding rabbit hole goes.
And that's just the beginning.
Yeah.
We'll unpack more of the Foobar experience when we continue our deep dive right after this.
All right, so we've talked about, what Foobar is, but what's it actually like to go through this thing?
Right.
Thankfully, Sumonta's account, it kind of gives us a peek behind the scenes.
Yeah, it does.
So he describes this Foobar interface like a simulated terminal environment.
Oh, wow.
Those old school text-based adventures.
I see.
It's not just coding, it's like you're navigating a virtual world, right? Using commands, manipulating files, running your code.
So hold on. It's not some fancy interface.
No.
It's straight up retro hacker vibes.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And the moment you hit start on a problem, that 7-day countdown, it begins.
No pressure, right?
Man, those 7 days, they suddenly feel a lot shorter.
I bet.
It's not just racing against the clock. You're also figuring out this whole system.
Right. So it's testing. How resourceful you are, how well you adapt.
Yeah. Time management too.
Essential stuff, really, for any fast-paced environment. Google or, any tech company.
Okay, so you're dropped in this coding labyrinth.
Yeah.
But at least you're not totally alone, right?
Hopefully not.
Sumonta mentioned there's this request feature.
A request feature for what?
For hints.
Ah, okay. Like a lifeline.
Yeah, like a coding game show lifeline. But here's the thing. Each request, it takes points off your final score.
Oh, so there's a cost.
Big cost. So you can't just keep asking for hints.
Right, you got to be strategic. am I really stuck? Or do I just need to, think a little harder?
Exactly. So it makes you resourceful, which I bet Google is watching that, right?
Probably, yeah. Could you figure things out on your own? Or do you always need help?
So now another big question. Can you, work with other coders on this?
Collaborate. That's a good question.
Right. Is it a team effort?
Well, officially, Foobar's a solo mission.
Really?
Yeah. You can't, share specific problems or solutions. That's a big no-no. Breaks the rules, could get you disqualified.
So it's a secret society of coders?
Kinda.
Bound by this code of honor?
Precisely. But, even though you can't directly collaborate, the coding community, that's still important.
How so?
You can talk about, general approaches, algorithms, problem-solving strategies, without giving away the Foobar stuff.
Ah, I see. So it's you're training for a marathon, you know?
Yeah.
You might run alone, but it helps to have a support system.
Share tips, stay motivated.
Exactly. And just like a marathon, the journey, it matters just as much as the finish line.
For sure.
Even if you don't end up working at Google, the skills you pick up along the way, those stick with you.
That's the important part.
Okay, so let's talk about what happens after Foobar.
After you conquer it.
Or at least try to.
Right.
Is it a golden ticket to a Google interview?
Well, finishing Foobar, it definitely gets you noticed.
Yeah.
But it's not like an automatic job offer. Think of it like a fast track to the interview process, but not a guaranteed pass.
So even if you dominate all 5 levels, you still got to go through the whole Google interview thing, the technical stuff, the culture fit, all.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Foobar shows them you can solve problems, but it doesn't replace the whole interview process. Makes sense, really.
Yeah, I guess so. Hiring someone's a big deal.
Right. And one coding challenge, even if it's impressive, it doesn't tell you everything about a person.
Right. Google wants to make sure you're not just like a coding machine.
Exactly. They want to know you'll fit in, that you can work well in their environment.
Which brings us back to that question we had before,
About Foobar.
Yeah. What does it tell us about the kind of people they're looking for?
It tells you they like people who take initiative, people who aren't afraid to, tackle a problem head on. You don't just stumble across Foobar, you got to be looking for it.
It's like they hid this puzzle box out there, and only the truly curious, the persistent ones, they'll find it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's been, shrouded in mystery, that just adds to it.
That's a badge of honor.
Right. A secret handshake among coders. You got invited to Foobar. You must be something special.
So why all the secrecy? Why not just, shout it from the rooftops? Seems kind of counterintuitive.
Well, there's a few possible reasons for that.
It's like the secrecy itself is part of the challenge, right?
Yeah, can you find us? Are you curious enough to really dig in?
It kind of filters out people who aren't really, passionate about coding,
Totally. The ones who just want any job, they probably won't even know Foobar exists.
Right, it's like a self-selecting thing. It weeds out the people who aren't actively looking for a challenge.
And the people who are looking, who are engaged in the community, they're the ones who find it.
And plus, let's be real, the secrecy, it adds to the mystery of it all.
Oh, for sure.
It's like this exclusive club, a badge of honor.
Yeah, I got invited to Foobar. It's instant coder cred.
Bragging rights, for sure.
Definitely.
It feeds into that competitive spirit, which, the tech world has a lot of that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And think about it, the surprise, right?
Right, yeah.
They're working on some crazy coding problem, digging through forums, and then bam!
Foobar appears.
Foobar appears. It's like a hidden door in the digital world.
Way more exciting than just filling out a job application.
Right. It's like finding a secret level in a video game. You're boring research just turned into an adventure.
I like that.
And you know what? That unexpectedness, that might also be a way for Google to see how adaptable you are.
Oh, how so?
Can you think on your feet? Yeah.
Can you switch gears, take on a new challenge, even when you weren't expecting it?
Yeah.
Because that's how the tech world is, right? Things change fast.
All the time. You got to be able to roll with it.
So the whole design of Foobar, the secrecy, the challenges, it all kind of reflects what Google wants in their employees.
What you mean, that curiosity, the problem solving, being adaptable, pushing boundaries, all that.
Exactly. It's not just a coding challenge. It's like a peek into their DNA.
I like that.
And if you ever get that Foobar invitation, consider yourself lucky.
Oh, yeah.
Don't just treat it like any other job application. Really embrace the challenge, push yourself, and enjoy the ride.
Right, and even if you don't end up at Google, it's still valuable.
Totally. You tested your skills, you learned new things, you connected with other passionate coders. You might even surprise yourself with what you can do.
That's a good point.
So what's the takeaway for everyone listening? Even if you never see that Foobar invitation, you can still take that spirit, that challenge, and apply it to your own coding journey. Absolutely. Find those tough projects, push your limits, and never stop learning. Get out of that comfort zone. Explore new stuff.
Because the real reward, it's not about the job title or the company. It's about solving a hard problem, mastering a new skill. It's about keeping that learning going.
That's what Foobar's all about, really. Celebrating that curiosity, pushing past the ordinary, remembering that there's so much out there to discover.
And on that note, we're going to wrap up our deep dive into the world of Google Foobar. We hope you enjoyed it.
Me too. It's been fascinating.
Until next time, keep coding, keep exploring, and never lose that curiosity. Who knows what's waiting out there for you?
Happy coding, everyone.
Thanks for joining us.